The fifth question, again, is addressed to all. Keep in mind that we're going to be wrapping up about 8 o'clock, so, you know, if you keep your answers brief, we can maybe get a few more questions in. This question is for everyone. We will start this one with Dennis. What is your opinion of the Common Core standards that the federal government is suggesting as a national curriculum?
Boo! Education belongs on the local level. As I stated throughout the evening here, it's one of the areas that government has no business being in. Core standards that they have is going to lower the education level of the students because they're modeling it on maybe in Texas or New York or wherever, but it doesn't reflect what's going on in New Hampshire. So again, let's get rid of the Department of Education. Let the state and the local levels, more of the local levels than the state, decide what our children learn. I want our children to have every opportunity to learn to their greatest expectations and hopes. Whether it's in the public schools, whether it's in charter schools, whether it's in private schools, whether it's homeschooling. That's where it begins. At home, on the local level, get the government the hell out of our education. Oh, I've got another minute. Yay. But I'm just trying to say that we, the people, have the right to live our lives and teach our kids on what we want them to know. Yes, we need to know the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and that's not included in what's going on what the government wants us to do. They want to institute the really good things in life. They want to dumb us down so that we can respond to the initiatives that they're putting out there, the Agenda 21 issues. Wrong. We got to make sure that we get back and be a competitive country, and the only way that we're going to do that is have control on the local level, not the government. So that's where I'm at that. Government has no business in education.
I have to echo a lot of what Dennis said. When you're talking about education, it does need to be at the local level. Someone down in Washington isn't the best person, especially with some of the decisions they've made, to say what the children need to be learning. It's the teachers who are in the classroom who should be helping with this, not the federal government. At the state level, at the local level, I had an opportunity to go and see a charter school in Manchester, where it's a small charter school, and one of the things that they are doing is that they have their classroom set up in a business environment. The students sit around a table, just like you might in a boardroom. They practice speeches, talking, balancing a checkbook, being able to excel in the business world. You would never get something like that to come out of the federal government. That's something that someone local said, you know what? This is what I see our children needing. This is what I want to set up so that they can be productive, find jobs, and excel in life. So we just have to bring that, get the federal government out of saying what you need to learn and let the local teachers and the parents make the decisions.
The conversation on federal government and local teaching is reflected of the entire problem. All of government should be driven down to the smallest local government that is competent to address that issue. It could be schools, it could be road repair, you name it. Our government is too big, too expensive, and too far flung. One of the reasons you see a lot of homeschool teachings in this state is the public schools just aren't getting the job done. There's no reason why parents should have to flee. Like in my school, I was talking about God to my children. I said, well, you can't say that on the church, on the school grounds. I'm saying, why not? There's too much tolerance. They're tolerant of everything in the public schools. That universal tolerance translates to they stand for nothing. And our kids are starting to lack a lot of things because of that. I have 1 minute, so I'm going to try and get to another question. I yield.
I want you to know I refer to this a lot. The 10th Amendment, the power is not delegated in the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That basically tells you that there's no need for a Department of Education because we haven't given them the power to train our children. So if you get rid of the Department of Education, like Dennis had said, and Vern had also said, and Will had said, that we are unanimous in that. But you know, our local school districts are hands-on with our children. So they know our kids and they know how to target certain areas that maybe that kid maybe be President Obama or any of his educational czars that happen to be in Washington don't know our children. Okay? Some of the smartest kids in the country come from New England. So why should we lower the standards here in New England where they should be raising them in California and reveling in those children here? Again, this document right here tells the government that no, you can't dictate how we do things on a state level. We need to start enforcing that. We need to push back. Getting rid of the Department of Education is a good start, very good start, and it'll help get the budget back in order. But then also, I was very privy to go to Libby Harder Academy a couple weeks ago for an education forum. And I want to say thank you to Regina and Tim and the rest of the House of Representatives here in Concord, because there is a bill that goes into effect on January 1st that allows money to follow the child and allows schools to be challenged by charter schools. Okay, and there's going to be educational grants that are going to come in the way of funding by private industry that's going to help those kids that maybe couldn't get to a better school. And that's going to put those public schools on notice. Okay, if they're underperforming, they have teachers that are underperforming, it's going to challenge them, and they're going to have to fight for their lives like they should be, and that raises the standard here in New Hampshire. And I thank you guys for New Hampshire for doing that. Let's give a round of applause for the House of Representatives. Time's up.
GrokTV.